Hey guys, in this lesson, we're going to look at the distance formula and how it relates to the Pythagorean theorem. I have 2 points that we're going to plot on the same coordinate plane, and we're going to try to find the distance between those 2 points. 5, 2 is over 5 up 2, and then -1, 6 is left 1 up 6. And I'm going to connect the 2 dots with a segment. Now, if I'm trying to find the distance between these 2 points, it would be really easy if I could just count units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. But these are not full units. We can't even really completely tell, and without a ruler, what that distance is. So we can use additional segments to form a triangle like this, and that's a right triangle. So let's just draw a triangle like this. And if I were to label the lengths of those segments, that's a little easier to do. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 segments. And this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 segments. Now, what can we use? What have we learned that you could use to solve this problem, to find the purple segment? This is a right triangle, so the Pythagorean theorem is going to come in handy here. A squared plus B squared equals C squared, where this missing side is C. So let's go ahead and find it. Actually, pause on that. Yes, let's do it. Let's go ahead and find it using the Pythagorean theorem. So we would have 4 squared plus 6 squared equals C squared. Now pause it, solve for C, and hit resume. So after some basic algebra, you should get C equals square root 52. 52 is divisible by 4, and when you take the square root of 4, that 2 pops out and 13 stays under. So C is 2 square root 13. Now, if we look at the distance formula, we can use this formula to find the distance between any 2 points, where the first point is x1, y1, and the second point is x2, y2. We have the distance formula below. And where this comes from is basic subtraction. I counted units here, but what's happening is for this part, I subtracted the y values. So this was -1, 6, and this was 5, 2. If you'll notice, 6 minus 2, that's 4 units. Then if I were to do 5 minus -1, that's 6 units. I did change the order there, and that does kind of matter, so we'll fix that in the formula. But I just wanted to deal with positive numbers as far as subtracting, but I'll show you in the formula what you would do. So we have, in the formula, we subtract the x values, subtract the y values, and square it, and that equals the hypotenuse squared. So this looks like a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And then if you were to take the square root of both sides, you would end up with the square root. This is a long one. Oops. Oh my goodness. x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared equals d. Now, you may see the distance formula where it's x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1. That's fine. It's just as long as you start with x1 in the first parentheses, you have to start with y1 in the second parentheses. These need to match x1, y1, and these need to match x2, y2. So that's what I was talking about earlier, where I switched the order of subtraction to kind of make it fit. When you're doing the formula, the order does matter, so just be careful there. So let's use the distance formula instead of the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance between these 2 points. So same points, we have x1, y1, x2, y2. And then I'm going to use my formula, subtract the x values and square it, subtract the y values and square it, and that's going to give us, then square root, that's going to give us our distance. Sorry, my dog is whining in the back and it's a little bit distracting for me. 5 minus -1 is 6. 2 minus 6 is -4. And we're going to square those. Hopefully I can do this without messing up because of my puppy. And we get square root of 36 plus 16, which you might recognize up here, 36 and 16. And then add those. And that looks familiar. And then simplify, and we still get to square root 13. So sorry for the distracted video. That's all I have for the distance formula. If you have any questions or anything you want to go back over, let me know. I'd be happy to help, and I'll see you in the next one.